So super pumped about this trip. Brian missed out on the first one in high school, so we got him now, which I think is more meaningful. Got 2 rookies with us and just really enjoy coming to the Boundary Waters. Really think it's a really special place. People learn a lot about themselves, and I love the camaraderie of the camping trip. You don't think about anything else because you're so worried about getting from one place to the other, eating, sleeping, and that's about it. Our first day, we're gonna go.
In the early summer of 2020, I was invited to the Boundary Waters by my friend Joe. It was a trip I'd always wanted to take, and having Joe as our guide, I felt up to the challenge.
If we're feeling comfortable, we can certainly go further. It is potentially that the first day there might not be any portages, but I'm still gonna have everyone wear their hiking boots just in case there is, and to just get used to their boots. This is a really big lake, so whether we go this way or this way, we can kind of see how we're feeling. And then we could end with a really boss 515 rod portage.
There were 4 of us: Joe, Jack, Spencer, and myself. After a day of driving through Minnesota, we reached Voyager Canoe Outfitters. On our first day, we got an early start after sleeping in a bunk cabin, loaded up our gear, and got out on the water. And unfortunately, this is the part where Jack and I partially capsized, submerging the camera underwater. So I don't have any footage until the camera miraculously started working again on day 2. Test. What's up? I'm hoping this GoPro is working. We had a little bit of a spill the first day, so don't know how this footage is going to turn out. If it does, hoping for the best. This is day 2. Turn back on.
How's everyone's fatigue level?
I mean,
I'm pretty good.
When you and I were coming,
my traps,
it was super, just like nice. If we're going pretty regular.
Yeah, I mean, I think this pace is good. Do you guys still want to be in the stern once we get to after this portage? Because that's that's almost 6 miles of straight paddling.
We're putting onions and macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah, everything's pasta. Everything has onions and peppers in it, basically. On the clove. That's our only vegetables.
All right, so day 2, we've got a really nice campsite today. We've got pretty much everything set up. Still have to do the bear bag and have to flip the canoes and take them ashore a little bit. I'm wearing this ridiculous looking bug net. Originally, I didn't think it was gonna work. I thought I was just gonna use a ton of DEET, but turns out even DEET really doesn't work super great, and the bugs are crazy. So this thing actually works fairly well, and I don't hardly even need to use any DEET at all. So sun's about to set here in maybe an hour. It's really beautiful out and the weather's really nice, and we're about to eat some dinner here in a little bit.
All right, we're tying a little bear bag make sure the bears and mainly the critters can't get any of our food. Now we're just trying to get it away from the tree a little bit.
Last night we did this for like an hour.
Practice makes perfect. We will.
All right, so we're getting some dinner going on night 2. I think it's like big pasta dinner. So here's what we got cooking.
Heyo. Okay. Sauteing some nice veggies. We got some garlic, onion, and pepper going right now. Look at all that cheese. S&P, baby, all day.
S&P. All right, Jack, what's the pasta like?
It's very cheesy. I think Joe's a really expert pasta maker. You know, I'd say it's really made with tender love and careness. I may see one of Joe's beard hairs in here, though. Who can say? I'm going to pretend that wasn't intentional, but who knows?
I wore a hairnet. It's probably just a stick.
The real question is, can you get coronavirus from a beard hair?
All right, now we're gonna go do dishes. You don't want to see this.
All right, you come pull. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So this was a great physical challenge of a camping trip. When we did route planning, we realized that we were in our prime, so we decided to do an average of 10 to 12 miles a day. We'll map it out exactly when we get back. So those are long days. Our speed has been phenomenal.
It's pretty early in the morning. I'm not exactly sure what time it is because Joe told us that we should not bring watches. But I took the canoe out for like just a few feet and I cast and I caught a fish on my second cast. And it's a nice smallmouth bass that I think we're gonna keep for lunch. Check this out. And I caught him on a fly rod actually using a little popper. So I put the bass on the stringer and as soon as I did so, this other fish that was also a bass came up to it and started pestering it. And it's happening like right next to me, so I feel really bad because I feel like this fish's partner doesn't want it to go. So I think I'm gonna let this bass go. He's just catching his breath. There he goes.
We got here a classic just add water Hy-Vee pancake and waffle mix pancake, perfectly flipped. It only took me 50 tries, coated with a thin layer of creamy buttery Nutella and garnished ever so nicely by Brian Frey with a crushed Nature Valley bar. Cheers.
Oh, perfection. It's day 3 and we are gonna show you all portage. And what we're gonna do, flip this up top, carry it 25 rods, which is 25 canoe lengths, that way to another small lake and continue on. There's a red light blinking. Perfect. There we go. There we go. All right,
Portaging. It's like a hike with a canoe on your back. Super fun. So you don't want to fall with the canoe on your back. Because you could break something very easily. That's pretty. Little waterfall. And here we are. Nice, easy walk. Oh yeah. Yep. Like a nice little shoulder massage. Day 3, we found this sick island that we're checking out right now, setting up camp, getting everything ready. So this is not the latrine path. All right, we got a little food addict over here.
All right, Joe, what is this called?
This is called a no-bake. It has Rice Krispies, oats, honey, peanut butter, and Reese's Pieces.
All the makings of a nutritious breakfast. Day 4, here we go. We're gonna do a lot of portaging today.
Do a little warm-up portage, go across Peter Lake, do a 130, which is our longest so far, on this 27 rodder right across the way. I think we can do some photo ops for the people carrying stuff.
For the gram?
For the gram. 10 to 15 rod portages. Dinky paddle, 45, dinky paddle, 27, and the 45 will be our gram opportunities. We're gonna try and get to one of these 2 campsites for a very long lunch, probably at least 2 hours, depending on how well we pack the bags and how much food we eat for lunch.
And what is that?
This is our 515 rod portages. A mile is, what did I say, 360 rods? Our last couple days we had a decision point between making what was already a hard trip even harder by tackling this 515 rod portage, and we decided that we wanted the physical challenge, and it also allowed us to explore a different side of the Boundary Waters where you go from lake to lake to lake, lots of portages in between. Navigation was a little bit more challenging, and I think everyone got the true Boundary Waters experience, and we'll see how our spirits are after this 515 rod portage coming up.
Dam or something. So we gotta pull the boats over the dam and then get back on the boats and then unload the boats on the portage, carry the boats, and then load the boats again and then paddle, and then do that a few more times today.
I think honestly we're probably better off just like getting it out and doing it now.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Okay.
Whoa, never mind.
So we made it to our last campsite and it's a pretty nice afternoon. We had some lunch and now we're pumping water. So we got to do this at least once a day, preferably twice, to fill up all of our Nalgene bottles, which we go through like crazy. Nice job, Spencer.
Thanks, Brian.
Didn't see you there. So do you come here often? Day 4. Meal is pasta.
We have 2 pounds of pasta, 1.5 pounds of mozzarella cheese, a pound of
So you know
Parmesan cheese, a can of chicken, some peppers, onions, and powdered milk,
and 2 future angioplasties.
Pesto paste.
We've eaten so much cheese this trip. So, favorite memory of the trip, probably jumping in the ice cold lake after carrying a canoe on my back for most of the day through portages was a great feeling.
So my favorite part of this trip has been making s'mores with my boys.
I think favorite parts of the trip are always, like, for me, the transition points, like driving up the last stretch of the road together, even the bunkhouse the first night when it was probably the first time Jack and Spencer had been in a sleeping bag, and who knows, where are we on the map? Who knows? Stars, amazing. We took a boat out night 2 and it's pitch black. The feeling of a canoe with no weights, no packs, nothing. You just can cut through the water, and we just kind of sat in silence looking up at the stars, saw a couple shooting stars.
You're rolling now? Sorry, is the light on? Are we rolling now? Are we taping? All right, well, we are now on the last night of our 5-day and 4-night camping trip, also known as month 3 of the coronavirus. We went skinny dipping in the water. It was good. Joe did his famous white whale maneuver where he showed everyone his very white ass. So I'm sure everyone enjoyed that. And then we decided to take the harder route, which involved more portages and more paddling because we're really tough and we also hate ourselves. So I'm doing all right. Got some mosquito bites, especially on the back here, but hanging in there. A good trip, good company. Somehow I've made it through all this with 1 pair of socks, so I don't really know how that works and don't have trench foot yet. So give it a little time though, it'll come through.
It is morning of day 5, and that means that we are getting up pretty quick here, packing everything up, and gonna immediately do a 500 rod portage, which is nearly 2 miles.
We've spent the last 2 or 3 days strategizing how we're gonna tackle this portage.
Jack and I are going to be carrying the packs, very heavy. Brian and Joe are going to be carrying the boats. We're going to be in teams. Each team is going to have probably about 2 canteens full of water. This portage is going to take maybe 2 to 3 hours. We're hoping for low bug coverage and also sun coverage. Wish us luck.
I don't know if I will think it's better to try and guess 100 rods at a time and break, or just go as far as I physically can every time. I just hope there's no forks in the road that people can get lost, like what happened on a couple portages ago. There was a fork in the road and every single person missed it, and I definitely had a oh shit moment where I started sprinting down the hiking trail trying to catch everybody before they wasted a whole day and followed a hiking trail with no end. So hopefully we have a nice landing on the other side so we can just throw the boats down, throw the packs down, hop in the water, and then cruise home.
Day 5 of the camping trip. We are getting ready for our long 515 rod portage. And you know, as you sit here getting ready for this, it's hard not to think about this as a test of me as a person. You know, I think it's one of the big questions in life. You know, will I find love? Will I be happy? Can I carry a canoe and a pack for 515 rods? So I imagine this is kind of what people who are at Everest Base Camp feel like before they go up the mountain. It's like, you know, everything's been building up to this moment, and when shit happens, when you step in the mud, you get mud on your shoe, you can keep going. So time will tell.
It's now about time to just go do it. I don't mind carrying a canoe on my back, actually. I actually like it better than the packs because the weight distribution, it's easier on my knees. However, very hard to steer a canoe through a very narrow tree trail, and definitely whacked the side. It just kind of echoes, so your ears ring a little bit. But, you know, we're all in this together, and let's just get it done. Let's fucking go!
I crush rods like mosquitoes suck blood. I run this shit, hike it straight up out the mud. I flood this shit like a creek without a paddle, and I'm all over the map with my portage rap battle.
Ain't no shortage of the portage. Ain't no shortage of the portage. Ain't no shortage of the portage. Ain't no shortage of the portage.
Canoe on my back, pack around my waist. I just ate. Time to pick up my pace.
Ain't no shortage of the portage. Ain't no shortage of the portage.
Don't trip or you might slip. See my white whale tip when I skinny dip.
Ain't no shortage of the portage. Ain't no shortage of the portage.
The portage life chose me. I'm free.
hanging like a bear bag around the tree.
Ain't no shortage of the portage. Ain't no shortage of the portage. Ain't no shortage of the portage. Ain't no shortage of the portage.
Ain't no thing. All right, we just completed the infamous 500 rod portage. How's everybody feeling?
515 rods.
515.
515.
Yeah, 515.
I feel great.
It's way easier than I could have even imagined.
It was pretty easy. In a few years, we'll be telling our kids we did a 1,500 rod portage, but for now, 515.
Yeah, that wasn't as bad as I thought either. Whew. Now we just have a 30 rodder and then we are done.